Well, I think whenever I'm having a conversation with a teen and their family in a clinical setting, I'm always thinking about centering on the teen and the health of the teen. And I think that our new narrative has really shifted the way that we talk about media to focus more on teens and less on some of the kind of fear-based framing that we've heard in the past. What do you think?
One of the main things I've brought to the Center of Excellence is to try to shift the framing to more solution-oriented, building on the strengths that families already have that they bring to their parenting, and then to be super pragmatic about it. What are some things you can try? You're not going to understand all of these new technologies that are being introduced, every day. But if you have a little bit of language about how to approach your child about this, how to have some collaborative problem solving around it, and to know the basic features of the tech that they're going to be using, parents will feel a much more positive mindset about this problem and less avoidant or controlling of it.
I totally agree. And I think that that's really great for the kids or the teens that are involved as well, because they can get a sense that their parents or their caregivers are willing to engage and willing to answer their questions and have dialogue about this topic.
Completely. And I think one of the reasons it's so important is, number one, every child is wired differently. I'm a developmental behavioral pediatrician. You're an adolescent medicine physician. We both know every child and every way the parent responds to them is really unique. And they're all going to have unique relationships with media. So if we can really focus on who is this kid? What are they going through? What are they great at? What are they struggling with? What are some of the ways those strengths and challenges might interact in good ways or bad ways with different social media platforms or technologies? I think that's the broader curiosity we want to inspire in families. Of course, we want to have some practical tips also about how to make this work for your family. But I think that families will feel more ready to try to do this experience together with their kids if they have that more open and curious mindset.
I totally agree. And I think that one metaphor that we've used sometimes in the center is that learning to use technology, especially social media, can be a lot like learning to drive, where we really want there to be a lot of interaction between the teacher and the learner in the beginning phases, but then allowing some independence over time as that child grows and develops, and understanding that their use of technology and social media won't be the same when they're 10 and when they're 15.
And I think about the metaphor of teaching your kid to swim, because that takes years. And you kind of start out with a bit more monitoring, more hands-on, more teaching, and eventually kids become more independent. But at the same time, if you live near a lake or an ocean, the waters are changing constantly too. So you may have to have more monitoring or more specific skills that you're teaching at some time when the waters are rough or others. And I think back to your point about wanting to keep things open so kids will come to us, because media right now is not the same thing as you have a TV in your living room and you're all sitting around watching it and you kind of know what your kid's seeing. With handheld devices and really personalized feeds and ads, kids may be seeing things that you just, as a parent, you can't monitor everything. And so we really want to keep the lines of communication open so that kids can trust that they can come to us. We're not going to freak out or overreact. We're not going to take everything away and shut it down, but that we're here to listen. If there is something like someone being mean online, seeing some creepy content, not being sure what to do, if they're not having as good of a time on their social platform as they had hoped.
I really love that. And I think that a big piece of that runs through these metaphors is that parents don't have to be Olympic swimmers to teach their kids to swim, and they don't have to be Indy 500 drivers to teach their kid to drive, but it's really having parents be in the role of teacher and caretaker and being there to help that child navigate their curiosity and their enthusiasm for this new thing that they're learning. And so I think that brings us back to thinking about centering on the kid and what the kid's needs are and allowing those questions and that curiosity to come forward.